assuming $100. Originally credit was 100 times 1 minus that. Smaller bits. And equity is asset value minus that. I want to find out if the stock goes down by 80%, this thing is going to go down to 0. Are they being a little bit too careful? Yes. You know, if I was actually the guy who's in charge of loans, I probably wouldn't have done that 80. But even if you do 50, negative 50. That's when it's going to be wiped out. But the trouble is, this is for one day. Sometimes you may have an issue where you're going to have, even though it's going down, some of the stuff is going to happen during after hours. Stock may have gone down, let's say 20% today. You're not worried. You still have some time to go, but something bad happens during after hours. For an index like that, typically something that drastic doesn't happen, but if you're doing this for an individual stock, it could. During after hours, they declared that this is a biotech company. They had a promising trials going on, but the results came very bad. It is not uncommon for a stock like that to lose 70-80% over. So in a sense, may not be a bad idea to look at 2-day returns. And what's the distribution of those? But we're just doing 1 day. So in a sense, let's see. Let's have 2 bad days in a row. And let's find out. Ideally, I would do that with 2-day returns, but I'm gonna be on the safe side when I'm designing this policy. At 50%, if the stock loses 30% 2 days in a row, client is going to be wiped out. If it's more than that, I'm going to have to make a margin call by the time the client actually can do something about it. It may be another day because you typically give them until the end of the trading day. And if they don't do it, you sell for them and you take your money. So it may not be a bad idea to do it 3 days in a row. To illustrate something switch the location of that, my hand is still going to the left. You can change the location of these menus. I like things I use a lot on the left because I'm left eye dominant. Okay. Now this is about 20%. Okay. And when you're coming up with these policies, you don't think about just what's going on around the table. You're thinking about kind of really bad case scenarios. If you had 3 days of negative 30% in a row, and it could have happened. Actually, let's do something about it. Since we already have it, let's calculate the 3-day returns. Adjusted price today divided by adjusted price 3 days ago. I'm gonna redo these. I'm gonna resort them. Let's resort them. Didn't change it too much, but you have the worst case scenario, at least realized, 40% loss in 3 days. If that happens, you're still fine, but let's go back to the original one. Let's see, daily. Let's see the zero equity point for 3 days of that return. Let's see if this one. Robinhood is being kind of too careful. If this stock loses about 42% of its value 3 days in a row, every day it's 40%, so the next day it's 40% of 60%, so on and so forth. It's a wipeout point. If I was running Robinhood, I probably wouldn't have picked that 80, because by law, you can lend up to 50%. You can never lend more than 50. Technically speaking, TQQQ is already leveraged 3 times. So if you do 50-50, you're letting your clients to bet on NASDAQ 100 leverage 6 times. So if NASDAQ 100 goes up by 1%, if you do 50-50, your investment is going to go up by 6%. It's very risky, but hey, if you want to bet on that, why not? But they allow other stocks with up to 50. If we were doing this 50, It says I can handle up to 3 days of 20% declines. If I was running Robinhood, I would have let this happen. Because more than likely that client has other assets, and if something really happens, I'm gonna basically sell some of their other assets as well. Sometimes, they're kind of hedged. They also have bonds or bond kind of accounts, bond kind of stocks. There are ETFs that represent the performance of bonds. Example, TMB. This is actually a bear, but this is shorting the bonds. Now, let me find it from here. Just way too many of them.